Hello beautiful people, welcome to my channel. My name is Teresa and I am your cruise director on the magical mystery tour that is this channel. Are you ready? Because I don't know if I am. I have gone through my collection here and tried to pull out the oldest products I have. I'm a bit scared, but before I throw stuff on my face, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, ring the notification bell to be alerted to any new uploads, and if you like this video at the end, please give it a big thumbs up. Oh, let's go do it. Okay, a lot of this stuff has definitely expired. I'm about to do a declutter, so sorry if I just looked all over the place then. A bird just flew at my window. Didn't hit it, but was thinking about coming in. I'm about to declutter a whole heap of stuff and thought that I would use some of it. Some of it I still use, a lot of it I don't. So what are we doing first? First one's easy. I have been using this for ages, trying to get through it and use it, and that is the Charlotte Tilbury Wonder Glow. This was probably the first illuminating primer that I ever picked up, and we know how that went. I am addicted. Do I prefer this over the Hollywood Flawless filter? Absolutely not, but I find it more hydrating. It's definitely not got the glow. It's a lot more subtle, and I prefer a bit more. But I've been pulling this out a fair bit recently because, not that you can see in here, I think I've got about that much left. So it's sort of been a goal to try and get through this. If you can hear a noise in the background, that is my washing machine spinning out. This still is nice. Will I be repurchasing it? No, because there is so many better on the market. I think even if you're not after that huge reflective glow and want something a bit more subtle, there are more out on the market. Foundation. Righty ho. I've got two here that have been in my collection the longest, and it is the L'Oreal Infaillible 24-hour fresh wear. That is legendary for a reason, and every time I pull it out I go, I know, it was so good. And then I've stopped using this because you can't get it anymore, and that is the Ordinary Serum Foundation, and mine was in the shade Who am I kidding? Who am I kidding? That's better. Mine was in the shade 2.0 YG, light medium. It had gold in it. It was super liquidy, very runny. So what are we going to do today? I don't know if I can mix these two together, because that looks like it's a bit light. This is the shade 130 Beige. So I'm putting a bit of each. That's going to be scary. And we'll see how we go, shall we? Okay, this is not going to be the right colour, I don't think. I think I'm a lot paler at the end of winter, but let's see how we go. Oh, well, isn't that surprising? Might be the perfect colour. It smells, but I don't know if that's due to expiry or from memory. That's going to be from the Ordinary one, and I think that did have a scent, and I just remember that was sort of the first serum foundation I think that I used, and loved the beautiful glow that it gave. Obviously the Infaillible is a lot more fuller coverage, but mixing it with the two, it's bringing it down. Gosh, you can smell the perfume in that. There's a hair there, bear with me. Now, for those that have not seen where I've discussed this previously, obviously that was quite liquidy, which is why I'm going in with a brush in the first instance. a makeup sponge, because it's so runny, the viscosity is really runny, would soak too much of that product up. So you can go in with a brush over the top of it, a sponge over the top of it to even it out afterwards, but in the first instance apply with a brush. Even my sponge is an old one. This, you're about to deny it is what I say it is if you have one. This is the Nakia Joy sponge I've had for a long, long time. It was baby pink. It's not now, clearly, because I give these a proper wash by chucking in a lingerie bag and throwing in the washing machine. And when I first got this and threw it in the washing machine, I threw it in with some new towels that were blue, and she never went back to pink. So there's a medium coverage there. Still looks good. Still looks good. Next up, concealer. This is where I'm a bit nervous because I have got the E.L.F. Camo concealer in light beige, I think it is. This is not the hydrating one. This is the original one. She's thick, she's gluggy, she is about to be tossed out. She's too dark and too drying. She's definitely expired. But it is the oldest one. Look at that. She's definitely not what I would pick to put with this foundation. For sure, she's too thick. She's thick. So let's try and lighten that up just a little. Because she's going to look, what is it? Thick under the eyes. I look a little jaundicey under the eyes, truth be told. I think we've gone the best that we can there, and I think it's not going to look pretty when we set it down. So to set down, I think the oldest powder that I've got in here is the KVD Lock-It Translucent Setting Powder. This is old. This is Kat Von D old, not even KDV Vegan Beauty. This was a lot back in the day. And she does need to go. I can't keep holding on to this. Remember when we all went nuts for Kat Von D? Gosh. Hasn't her story been interesting? That was a whole different era in itself. I never liked how this particular product looked on me, ever. I do love the Good Apple Serum Foundation. That is one of my favourites. But that's not a Kat Von D one. That is KVD. This feels heavy. So we know the drill is that I like to hydrate my face. And what I'm using today, it's so old that the labelling has been peeled off. I want to say, like, there is nothing on here to identify it. If anyone recognises that, I want to say it's an old iconic one maybe. But I don't even know. I don't even know. It's been sitting there for so long. It's been sitting there for so long that... been sitting there for so long, I can see all the dots of where I sprayed that. I love that for me. Okay, let's go on to brows. This is going to be scary. I think this is my oldest brow product. Oh, no, it's not. Hold on. I just had to correct it because I've got a couple of different shades in this, and I thought that I'd got a darker shade to match my hair colour, but it was a completely different product. This is the oldest product, and it's not, I've had it in here for ages and I stopped using it because I moved on to something that looked better. This is a W7 Brow Sweep. It's a crayon. Like, it's not a micro pencil, it's a full-on crayon. Because, oh, that's not looking as bad as what I thought. I was going to say it's giving what is her name? A cartoon character with really thick brows. Look at it. I'll think of it later. But it looks better than what I thought. Thank God, because I think my husband and I are going to go into town after, and whilst I don't have to look at my face, he does. For bronzer, I'm going to use a cream and a powder product from the same brand. I do think these are the oldest, and they are certainly the most used, and I have repurchased and repurchased these, and you'll see how grotty this is. First in, we are going in with the Fenty cream bronzer. She's got to go. Look at it. It is just on the periphery. This is the shade Butta Biscuit. It's still gorgeous, which is why with this last little bit I haven't thrown it out yet, and I should do, because it's barely, I've had to dig around. But look at this shade, shall we? It's not too warm. It's a really nice neutral for the pale girlies like moi. And it's long lasting. It doesn't melt off your face. This still stands up against all the new releases, I think. Will I repurchase this right now? No. Would I, if I had no bronzers, repurchase? Probably. Got a hair stuck on my forehead. Okay, just down either side of the nose. I still love this. And I think we might have to, I mean, it has to be, I've got so many, that really, I might have to stick it on my desk for a couple of last wears before I get rid of it, to be honest. She's still good. Going in now with the Stalk'r powder bronzer in the shade Inda. Again, she's panned. Why? Because it's good. And again, it's a great shade for paleys. Fenty Beauty, their base products are just the best. That being said, I haven't tried a setting powder from the brand. Foundations, yes. Blushes, yes. Bronzers, clearly. Highlighter, love it. Face powder, no. Eyeshadow, no. Oh, didn't set my nose. Heaven forbid. But yeah, you can see that I have these, both of these products have been well and truly loved. And as I said, I think the cream I've purchased 4 times and the powder 3. Blush was a bit more difficult because I've got so many. I went on how the packaging looked, to be honest, to be what is the oldest, and that is the DB Cosmetics Make and Blush in the shade Peach Glow. Like, this has seen somewhere, looks like NARS, oh, holding it right up here, you're not going to see that, looks like NARS Orgasm, to be honest. Much more affordable. It's got that peachy glow to it, the gold reflect that comes through, so it's almost duochrome. She's beautiful. And she's not getting thrown out yet because she's beautiful. highlighter's an interesting one as well. This hasn't had a lot of use. I got this years ago. And I don't even know. I think it came in a gift box or something. It's the Essence Glow Your Mind Baked Highlighter Palette. I really need to hand this on to someone to get a bit more love. It comes with 3 highlighters. And I want to say that they sort of dupe MAC. Like, look at that. This would be over 7 years old. So going into the middle shade. Don't really need it with this blush on, but why not? Let's glow up. That's a lot of glow. I definitely do need to see if there is someone that wants that to get some use out of it, because it is really pretty. I'm just not going to use it. Now, before we move on to the rest of the face, I'm going to blur this, and this, it looks new because when they were being discontinued, I stocked up. And there's going to be so many of you that go, oh, why did they get rid of that? This has been sitting in my backup drawer for a long, long time, and I've only pulled it out recently to start using. And that is the Too Faced Peach Blur. So this is still, I don't know why they got rid of their peach range. Like, everyone loved so much about it, and you'd have to think it was one of their top selling products, surely. Did they just feel that they needed to move on from it? This is in the line of Hourglass Ambient, but a soft peach. It doesn't look like it's doing much now, but any of these blur powders take time to melt into the skin and let the magic happen. And if you love this, you know exactly what I mean. What am I going to use for that? Oh yeah. You need to go. Okay, so for eye primer, before I got into my paint pots, I was using the Morphe, I think. Like, they haven't been around forever, so I had a few that I tried, and then once I discovered the paint pot, that was it for me. But for today, we're going back to the Morphe. Gosh, and we're at the time of the week when I go, my eyebrows need doing, because I am thankful to have eyebrows, but by jeepers, they grow like I've been planted in compost. Okay, other side. I've still got this lingering cough happening. Gosh. I wonder when it will go properly. Rightio, there we are with that. Let's just, nothing extra on this, just the excess powder to set down. What are we using? I'm going to use, I think this LA Colours, it's just a nude, I think is my oldest liner. It's just a stock standard nude. I think that's probably still available as well. Bet you're wondering what eyeshadow palette I'm using. Bit of ASMR for you. This I have had I know this is the longest I've had in my collection out of everything because I think it is the only eyeshadow palette that survived my move to Hobart nearly 10 years ago. Don't think I have anything else from before then. I have got rid of them. Urban Decay and Naked 2. I know I had this back in my hometown. Look at her. This has not been on my face for years. Let's see how we go, shall we? She still smells all right. I won't declutter this because I loved this so much. I wasn't the original Naked. Going into this shade here, I wasn't the original Naked palette. This would be the one that, if they that's a shimmer going in here. Couldn't even tell it was a shimmer. This is the one that I think they should have re-released, and I think a lot of other people probably feel that way too. The first one, yeah, I don't think I was super into real plain natural looks at that stage, and I certainly didn't have the money either to be able to do any of that. I was single mumming with a young daughter and an ex that was not paying any support. Anywho, going in now here. This eyeshadow palette just does not appeal to me nowadays. Like the colour story I find quite muddy and murky and not in a good way. But I just don't know if I can bring myself to declutter it. We'll see, because I am about to film some decluttering. You'll get a pervy look into my collection. It'll be a combination, sort of look at my collection, declutter. We'll go through it all. And then I will have to try and find new homes for a lot of stuff, but there'll be stuff like this that if I do get rid of this and it doesn't go into a memory box, this would get thrown out. I would not hand this on to anyone. It still feels all right. Still looks boring. If you love this and wear this, take what I say with a grain of salt. Just trying to build it up, and this is where I think we can tell that she's getting old now. Trying to build up that colour is taking a bit of work. This I think was my most used colour, certainly looking at the dip. Do I think I can get... That's so hard to get anything out of there. She is as dry as dry. Let's go cool toned. Let's go in here, because this clearly was another shade that I liked. See, it's just looking a bit boring for me. Oops. Particularly when I do that. Come on. If you can hear a noise, my neighbour is doing something straight outside the window. Of course he is. He's allowed to because it's the weekend. Okay, I'm going into this purple. Let's... Oh, Wayne, come on. Just using a little bit on that outer corner. This has 100% definitely expired. I'm just struggling to build up this look. Now, I'm about to shoot myself in the foot. Can you see? I'm dipping into that black and then back into that brown. Just to get the littlest bit of depth in the outer corner, because that brown is the second darkest matte colour. Then we've got this black. Big jump. Okay, going into that cream now, just on the inner corner there, because I'll go over that with that shimmer that I didn't realise was a shimmer before, because it's been so long. And in we go. I think after using this, I think I'll be able to part ways with it. I'm starting to like it, but I am starting to like it. It is starting to come together. But it is making me realise I do need to let go of it. Okay, into the black as well and back into that. And along. Just stamping that along. I don't want it to be too harsh. I'm going to go in and work out that line in a second. I can really only work it out with that because we only had 1, 2, 3 mattes in the whole thing. Super light, mid and black. Like, would we be happy with that now? I wouldn't. The rest are shimmers. Like, I think now we would want it around the other way and give us, and you know I love a shim shim, but give us 3 decent shimmers and then the rest matte. Okay, just working that. Oh, okay, starting to feel it. Am I going to reach for it over other palettes? Absolutely not. But it doesn't look as bad as what I thought for such an old palette. It is going to have to go though. It just is. It just is. So now back in to set down our face. This is starting to melt in and smooth out. So one last spray and then we will do lips and mascara. Okay, I'm looking smoothed out and glowy. Mascara is, I'm a bit more diligent on my mascaras than a lot of other products because it is our eyes. This one, I'm a bit worried about this because I always poke myself in the eye with this brush. It's a good mascara, but it gets right in there and the bristles hurt my eyes. It's the She Glam dual-ended mascara. So on this end we have a thickening, a lengthening, and that's the one that always gets me. And on this end we have, oh, look at that. We have a volumizing. That's gross. So I'll go in with the volumizing to start. This is at the point it does need to be thrown out because it is definitely the oldest. I can feel that it's drying out, and whilst normally you could just put a few drops of put a couple of eye drops in there to revitalize the formula. I mean, can we look? You can clearly see what is going on with this. I'm not going to get a huge amount of length out of this, I don't think, going in with the lengthening side. This got really, really hard bristles, and because when you're lengthening, you're trying to get right in there, you can actually hurt. They're really hard. I know, first world problems. But the amount of times I've ended up making my eyes water with this particular side. Okay, I've got some length on there going into this side because you start off with it curved like that, but when you go into here, this is where you're going to get your length from. I will say this is a great, these types of mascaras are a great travel mascara because you've got your choice on either end. And this comes in so many different formulas now. We will leave it there. Down to the final products. Now, I just went through my lipsticks because I have just recently decluttered. So that was a bit interesting. I've got to edit it and put up. But I'm using the Morphe lip pencil in Frenchy. This is definitely my oldest because for so long I only had Morphe pencils because they were so good, and I still use this, and this will never be thrown out. She will be worn down to a stub for sure. And then I bought a Morphe lipstick kit ages ago. It's more cool tone, that's what I want. I mean, you can see how worn that one is. Like I said, I have decluttered. These are no longer available. This is a cool tone brown. Oh, and I've just, ooh, we've had an accident. She's a grey. She's a grey brown. And I'm using my fingers because if I'd left it at that full opacity, I would have looked a little dead. As it is, I feel like I've got a bit of a 90s vibe going on. What do you reckon? God, that's, every time I touch it, that whole lipstick feels like it's just hanging on within an inch of its life, that it's going to, it wants to completely melt down. Okay, so that is the finished product. I think we're finishing at the right time because it sounds like my neighbour is about to start making some noise. But I'm glowy. I am glowy from the blush, from the highlighter, from the peach blur, from that glowy unknown spray. I really like how she's ended up looking out. It'll be interesting to see what I look like in natural light. Even the eyes look really nice now. Remember how I was saying they were boring. But again, the minute you put mascara on, they're like photo frames. Do like the colours. I wonder if my face will feel like it's burning in an hour. Oh, yeah, and a bit of glow from the Ordinary Serum because that had gold in it. I missed that product. I really like it. Maybe it will stay in the collection. Should I keep it for the memories at least and pull out every now and then? I'm really like, I need to, Natasha Denona Glam palette would have that shade in it. I need to pull out a couple of palettes and see what can do that. But that was a full face of what I think are the oldest products in my collection. We'll get back to doing some new stuff. I'm still doing the Makeup Revisited. We'll have more of them coming up. If there is anything that you want to see, I keep saying this, please let me know down below. Please say hello. I do try to respond to every comment. If I don't respond immediately, it's because I may have been very, very busy. It's because in the next month, while this is going up, I'm assuming, we're going away for a week for my daughter's wedding. I come back to work. I've got a few days before I finish at my current job. Then I start a new job and I'm away for 13 days for that with some training. So I'm trying to get everything up. Bear with me. if I miss a day. Trying not to. But until next time, my loves, don't forget to tell your mum, tell your sister, tell your friends. Come along, hang out. Tell me what is the oldest palette or the oldest product you've got in your collection. I did have a lipstick, not any time in the last 10 years, but I did have a lipstick that I'd had for over 20 years that I loved, that I was digging down into. So tell me what is the oldest thing you have got in yours. Till next time, bye.